Willie's poems all had cotton in them. Mine all have water in them. In Louisiana, we have a lot of it. And when it rains a lot, or when a river floods, we have bayous that. Bayous are really just, they're not rivers, they don't run, they just kind of hold the extra water that's around. So when it rains a lot, they rise, and we call that the backwater. It kind of rises a little every day for months and months at a time. You never quite know when it's going to stop. So this poem's called In the Backwater. The water rises slowly, a creeping drown measured on cattail stalks. It consumes the banks, scuttling the pelicans from their feast in our fishnet pans. We count the cinder blocks, weigh our options in inches, consult our almanacs, and revive our rituals. We dance quietly on plywood floors and shake salt the water beneath the door. This next poem is called In the Cypress Stand. When the water come, it thundered like the host of heaven, breaking the fence post we taught the John boat to. We tumbled through the water into a stand of cypress trees, sharp needles and bony knees. Alvin was lost, too small to hang on. We stood for hours, barefoot, on underwater cypress knees to keep our heads above the water. Mama cried and cried for Alvin, begged the Lord to wash her away, but Daddy held her tight till the boats come to take us home. As I said, this flood kind of flooded most of the middle of the country. The water came so far into Louisiana, it flooded places that were very far from the Mississippi River, places that had never seen the Mississippi River. This next poem takes place in a small town called Rayville, which is outside of Monroe, in the north part of the state, and it's about an hour's drive on the interstate from the Mississippi River, so 100 miles or so, 80 to 100 miles away. This is Rayville, 1927, Eclog in the flooded aisles of the Noe Street General Store. The Pirots have been coming in all day. On the bottom shelves, salt sacks dissolved to turn the river water to brag. What canned goods you have will be welcome. We've been held over by preserves and what chickens we can save. Me and my boys have been pulling around all day, helping what we can. Hatton's wife was taken sick, turtle bit while they were trying to fish her out of her kitchen. Their hayloft is a makeshift sick house. There's tent cities on the levees around Vicksburg. People piled on top of each other like an ant bed. I heard they got some food and a few doctors, but not enough of either. The good Lord says he ain't gonna flood the world no more, but the river's got a mind of her own. They've been herding stock on flatboats from Tensall, putting them out downtown where the water stops. They'll never sort them out. The ark runneth over, praise be, praise be. One of the things that kind of inspire me to, kind of write these poems is kind of the people. When you do a little research or read stories about this kind of thing, and just people where I'm from in general, we get kind of flooded all the time. So there's like a stubborn kind of resistance, I guess, steadfastness that I find pretty interesting, pretty incredible. So this last poem I'll read, it's just about that. It's called The Men on the Levee. Of the men on the levee, I will say this: they were brave and terrible, their eyes wild as the river. I will also say this: such men of power and wild eyes like the river cannot sleep easy in its shadow. Such men of power fear what the water will take, will not sleep easy in its shadow, knowing what stands before its swell. Fearing what the river will take, the poor men of the basins knew what stood before the water's swell, raised their hands to the sky. The poor men of the delta went to fight the river as well, raising their hands to the sky, singing, what water will come, will come. They went to fight the river, those brave and terrible men, singing, what water will come, what water will come,